Hey there guys, this is going to be a part of a mini-series where we're going to try and go over some no-beat stuff and teach you how to do it the easiest way that I figured out how to learn it, or at least explain it to people. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning the no-beat toss, and then we're going to learn the penguin toss. That toss. Then we're going to learn the continuous no beat on your wall plane. And then we're going to learn the continuous no beat on our wheel plane. Or this way, whichever way. It's going to be easy for you later on. So this first one is going to be just the no beat toss. I first learned about this stuff a couple months ago when I saw someone else doing this weird toss pattern, right? I watched it long enough, I eventually figured it out. The no-beat toss is a move that keeps you at the same, I guess, step in a pattern. So if you're doing a weave, this would be one step, this would be one step, or one beat, I guess you could say. And then you'd have another one over here. Different positions for your hands. No beats allow you to stay in the specific hand position in a move without having to advance to the next step. So if I was doing a 3-beat and I wanted to stop in the middle, I could stop in the middle. If I'm doing a 3-beat and I want to stop on my left side, I can stop on my left side by doing this. That's the basic concept of how you can remember where to use them, because you can use them just about anywhere. You can use them there, you could use them in lots of different places. And it's been something that's been growing a lot in the community, so let's get to this first toss. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you just draw a extension circle. So if you've done this move, right, this would be a good place for you to understand where an extension circle comes from. It's where your hands are drawing a circle in split time. Right? At this part right here is where we're going to start our no beat. And the way you throw and catch a no beat is actually a little bit different than what I first thought. So when you throw it, what you're going to do is you're going to have it up to the opposite side, the side that it's coming up on. So if I'm spinning this direction, the poise coming up on this side, specifically about right here. Waist level. And what you're going to do is I want you to do your little extension circle, right? You start here, come all the way around, and then stop. And watch how when I stop, this starts coming over and down. We've seen that before with anti-spins, where your poise would go up and then down into an anti-spin. Right? On this one, what we're going to do is as it comes to that point here, halfway, it's at what's called a floating position, where it's really weightless and you can basically tug on the string and make it go anywhere. And I want you to get to the point where you can get it to float a bit, right? Learn where that spot is, that spot where you lose the momentum of the ball. Okay? Now, as it starts losing momentum, so as it's coming up to that point, not at that exact point, you're going to throw it, you're going to tug the string and pull it across your body. It's going to do that. And when you throw it, back up a bit, because you might hit yourself in the face when you do it. Pull it out, and you might see it just dip a little bit. And just continue this motion So you can get it to fly just about all the way over. And watch the handle when you're doing it. Your handle is going to stay just about stationary. I mean, it's going to be drawing this circle when you do the move. Right? But if you can get your handle to not flick out and fly out, you're in good shape. That's when you know you got this toss correctly. When your handle isn't flying all the way up there, above the head. You don't want to be catching it like that. You're going to want to be catching it like that. Once you've got this toss going, or at least not where you can catch it, don't worry about the catching part yet. Just make sure that when you get it to come up here, pull across and get it to where the handle stays basically still in flight. It's not flying out, it's not doing anything crazy, it's not doing that, it's not doing this, it dips down towards the end, landing, no. Just throw it across. It'll fly away from you like that. That's all normal. Now we're going to learn the control part, so how to catch it. As it's flying across like that, what you're going to do is you're going to catch it using your hand. Basically the top of your hand here and your thumb. It's really hard to catch something in midair like that, like to reach out and just grab the handle. And that's why a lot of people have a tough time learning this. But what you're actually trying to do is when you do your no-beat toss, stick your hand out like that, straight line, right? And let the string slide down your hand into this little pocket here. So your hand's at a slight angle like this, right? And it'll slide into your hand and you'll catch it right there. You just pinch. Now there's different ways to actually catch it. This is just one of them to help you get started. You can also, instead of catching it with your thumb, catching it like this, between your thumb and your finger. That gives you the ability to twist your wrist, which you'll need to do later on. So if you just want to do one, you can do that. You can catch it like that. After you catch it, okay, you're going to want to make sure that your hand goes downwards in the catch. So you don't want to catch it completely here at the top and stop. You can start the catch at the top, right here, right? But when I finally catch it, my hand's pointing down because I need to be able to grip this handle. If I'm not gripping it, by the time it reaches the bottom, it's going to slip out of my hand and fall. Like that. Okay? And if you don't catch it with your hand facing down, like this, you're not gonna, you won't be able to do it a second time. So when you throw it, you catch it into your downward hand position, using that trick I showed you. Rolling the string, roll the string down into your hand, because as your hand goes down, it goes like this. Got it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our arm into the equation. Stick your arm out, just straight out, and do that no-beat toss over it. And this is the part where you watch the handle. The trick here to getting it to go over your hand is getting the little hop you can do with your poi when it's at that floating point where you can like let it go there, you can let it go there, you can let it come up a little bit. Controlling that floating point allows you to adjust the center of the circle to above your arm. So the center of my circle is here. If I'm going over my arm, it's not going to work because look, it does that. I can adjust that floating spot and have it just barely come up over my hand. Like that. Right? So you're just going to need to let it go up a little bit higher at the floating point, and then start your toss. And when you're starting your toss, your arms might touch a little bit, because you're going to be pulling it across. Still, that's normal. It just means that your arms are really close together. As you get better with it, you'll learn to keep them apart a bit more. So if you're having a bit of trouble getting it to toss over, you can make your arms touch to start it. Oops. And now that you've got it jumping over that arm, we're now going to add the other point of the equation. Now you're actually not going to toss this one in this episode. What you're going to do is you're just going to keep this one stationary. Because there's a specific toss you do with the other hand, we're not going to go over this time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do that extension circle thing again. Oops. This thing, right? These two extension circles, the part where it goes like this. And when they do their extension circles, you have your arm come over your hand and have your left arm continue that extension circle. It's going to be doing this. The left arm is doing this. Your right arm is coming, following behind it, and hopping over the arm. Alright? And this is the timing that it'll be in if you get it right. If you're having a bit of trouble with the catch while you're doing this, turn to your side. It'll give you a bit more of a reach in that direction and a little bit more control, because the part that's going to be hard is going to be catching it over and over and over again. Once you get the toss down, it's not too bad, but getting the continuous motion, because if you stop this hand to do a beat, you've lost it. This one shouldn't be doing a beat. This one should just be doing an extension. Just like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like that. You can also do it on the other side. So instead of having your right arm doing the no beat toss, you can have your left arm doing the no beat toss. Try practicing that as well, because once we get into the weave part, you learn to weave your no beats, you're going to need to know both sides. So if you're wanting to learn how to do this trick, so no beat weave, you're going to have to learn how to do it on both sides, and you're going to have to learn it in both directions at some point as well. Because you can turn the no beat weave into a no beat waist wrap, where you can literally just be like, choo, choo. Anyway, things that we'll get to.